go. Representing Malaysia on the left, Team ChubbyBoiz. And on the right, Yangon Galacticos coming out of Myanmar. What are any expectations for this series?
I'm more of a, I want to see the draft first kind of a guy, because if we look at the first series with the Venomancer, like Venom wasn't really able to do much as a hero, so I want to see some of the matchups as well, but yeah, it's definitely going to be entertaining. Like you did mention that the team has a bit of an upper hand in terms of having a bit more experience in some of these tournaments, playing the BTS Pro Series, and yeah, getting close, causing some upsets. But I think this is the big test, how they're going to be able to do in this one. It's on LAN and also playing against some of the bigger names, especially if they proceed to get further into the tournament.
Yeah. Here we go. There's some post. The first three players coming out weren't embracing it, but now they're bringing out the shush and the different looks that they need to get ready. Nobody's baseball. What was his name again?
Baseball
fights.
Baseball dogs.
Baseball dog. He's still. Oh, okay. There we go. That's got some flavor to it. But yeah, baseball dog still repping. I think the best walkout pose. That time there was somebody missing from ChubbyBoiz. Still hitting up the restroom, I guess. Or they're just that confident they can compete 4v5.
Yeah, they're going to be playing 4 versus 5. They decided, we don't need a 5th player. Just kidding. We'll be joining them shortly, but yeah. Yangon Galacticos, love the name. Love the overall team name.
It's got some power behind it. They're the big star players. So
also against the silencer, if there's a global silence, pre-BKB, you already popped the arena, which means they're going to be hold in place. You can kill them with the right clicks potentially. Even Leshrac, like Nagasardan, it's so-so. Maybe it was more of a, I'd say, comfort pick. It's good against certain heroes, but nothing is like, wow, this is such a godly Mars game.
No. It does give them that insta-wave clear, I guess, which is something they kind of were slightly lacking too. I think I'm sure whatever they pick for their mid lane, they'll think, yeah, we need something that can at least shove lanes to a decent extent. But here we go. We're getting ourselves into match 5 of day 1 of the Predator League 2022 Grand Finals. Let's get things underway here. Team Yangon Galactico playing on the dire side up against ChubbyBoiz. What a name. I like it.
Which one do you like better, the Australian guys or ChubbyBoiz?
ChubbyBoiz have a better name. I speak as someone with a bit of a chubby belly myself. Been enjoying too much of the local cuisine, perhaps. But I still hope the Aussies go far here.
Sitting underneath the ward, not aware of it at the moment. They placed it with the smoke relatively fast. Still smoked. They want to be able to wrap around, potentially get a kill. It's a good lineup to fight with at the early levels. Having Leshrac, Tusk, like potentially block, and also silencer maybe. Let's see what he gets.
Oh, gets the eye shot block. Young PH in some trouble here. The impale follow up, and he is donezo. With the morph strength, he's got no way out of here, and that's going to be an early first blood. Going the way of, I was going to say RSG, but they are ChubbyBoiz.
And they're going to be more chubby, getting that extra gold on a mid lane. It does make this mid matchup even more Leshrac favored, because you don't die. Against Mars, you don't get a chance at early levels. Maybe 6 with a rotation is a potential kill from Marana, but pre-level 6, this Leshrac should not die. He should not be threatened.
Excellent, just giving Z-Rain the poke treatment, just constantly harassing him here in this mid lane. Just to make sure he doesn't get speared back on their tower or anything, but you got to imagine he's more than well aware of what Mars can do to him. Back at top, young PH just TP'd in. He cannot afford to die. He's not going to have a TP to get back in the lane, but it's just harass coming in from the ChubbyBoiz offlaners.
They did get some extra gold from that kill. Nothing spectacular, but also Undying being late to this lane could set them back quite a lot. I said that this is the lane that you know, it's gonna be Nyx plus Tusk, but they decided to swap things around. They understood that if they lane it that way, so they kind of sacrificed this bottom lane a little bit. Naga Siren with another melee support. She's still gonna get the farm right now, sitting at 4 CS, using these illusions, and you can see Beastmaster immediately using axes, trying to find which one is real. And yeah, even Starstorm just to be able to clear out the illusions.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking a lot of damage, so they may clear out these illusions. But
those illusions need to give more gold. Like, it's 4 gold. Do you remember when Trap gave 1 gold? You place a sentry, you spend 50. Maybe it was even more expensive back then.
That's some
75, and then you're like, I got 1 gold.
Back in the good old days, Illusions gave 0 gold. That was the PL with Radiance pushing out waves, making life miserable. Nice kill there. They just land.
You could lifesteal off Illusion, like literally nothing. You could one-shot him with Dagon. That was always cool. And yeah, we're getting a kill on the bottom lane. I want to see how much this Tusk is going to be able to get from this lane as time progresses. Right now, sitting at 10, same CS as Morphling.
They're going in. They're getting aggressive here. Just rolling on young PH, getting some nice 2-hero Arcane Curse. Cheap, cost-effective harass, not really costing them anything. They've got a Mastering, it looked like, coming out on Zhao Yu's Tusk, so they'll have plenty of mana to just spam out. Just making life as difficult as possible for the Morphling in lane. That said, Morphling's still farming just fine. He's sitting on 14 last hits already.
He put another point in shift, which means that he's not gonna die in this lane. Mid matchup going pretty even. Mars does CS against Leshrac, but he cannot kill him. Leshrac also going near his outpost, picking up the bounty rune to be able to refill his bottle. Still, Naga Siren getting a farm bottom, even though she's paired up with this melee support.
I mean, that's a big part of why Naga's just become such a almost meta pick at this point when the carry role. It does feel like when you get these good games in lanes, you kind of just do fine in the lane just by yourself. Like, there's nothing Beastmaster really does to pressure MKS here. Just having a very free time.
So does Beastmaster. He's really not afraid of neither Nyx nor Naga Siren. Understands what needs to be done in the lane, doesn't buy any small items, going for Helm immediately. So has that extra armor, extra regeneration for any kind of harassment coming out.
Nice job by Ziran. Looks like he forced the Silencer off that rune to secure the water rune, get himself the bottle refill. So both teams putting a lot of emphasis on these early runes, rotating multiple supports to take the fight to them.
6-minute rune is going to be the big one. 2, minimum 3 potentially coming out to secure the rune for either Lesh or Mars, and both heroes are going to be level 6 by then, so that means whoever rotates, whoever lands a spell, potentially gets a kill.
What a spear.
Spear just to get a deny.
Got the deny, and he dodged the splitter. That was actually very, very nicely done. Very, very pesky stuff coming in from Ziran there. And yeah, we'll see that 6-minute rune coming up in about a minute's time. We'll see how many of those rotations do in fact come into play. It does feel like both teams having pretty free safe lanes. I mean, the Morphling and Naga both more or less free farming so far. Definitely still raise the question of what is maybe the purpose behind this offlane Tusk.
Yeah, not sure what offlane Tusk provides you with that some other offlaners couldn't. You must be greedy with this hero. You can't go for team fight items. I don't see a good team fight item that could make like that big of an impact in this game. Of course, there's always Raid Pack that you can buy on any hero. It's gonna feel good, but other than that, you're playing for yourself. You want to be able to go in, blink, BKB potentially to get out of the arena, even though you're playing against Beastmaster, so BKB might not be like your highest priority. And of course, you know, that Aghanim Scepter.
Well, Well, the 6-minute rune coming up, and they're fighting over at bottom. It just spawns top, so Undying gets an illusion rune. Meanwhile, Lesh has hit level 6 with the arena coming out as well. Does get the Carapace and spears the Lesh into the arena with the Starstorm damage. It's just enough to kill off the Lesh, and Mirana gonna stick and TP out. It's just enough to get out of there before going down. Z-Rain has another spell in a couple of seconds. Maybe gonna go looking for that spear. Job on Bon in full retreat here. Gonna try and escape to the Ancient, get sliced up by the spear of Z-Rain. A couple of kills going their way here in this mid lane. Really nicely done by Yangon.
Z-Rain getting that arena, connecting onto Leshrac with a spear, more than enough. If he doesn't die there, if he misuses the spear, Leshrac could potentially, not potentially, he gets at least one kill, because Mirana would not be able to get away. He'd be able to chase her down, and also saving himself, because if you use 2 abilities and don't get much done with it, that means you're in a lot of trouble. Leshrac pumping out way too much damage, even at these early stages of the game.
These early fights, really important for trying to get your team momentum. Both teams also using these fights to give their carries a lot of space to just free farm. With all the attention around this mid lane with supports rotating, neither Morph nor Naga has been pressured at all. Those 2 heroes, top of the net worth. Do you feel like either team is favored by their carry getting free farm over the other?
Looking at some other heroes that they have, slightly Naga Siren. If you asked me that 6 months ago or 6 years ago, I would never choose Naga Siren, but the way you build right now and with all the buffs, I feel like Naga Siren can do good. Even though this, we don't see it as much, this Diffusal Blade pickup against Morphling, like, could still be a decent one. Problem is you can't upgrade the item, unlike Orchid, where you can just have a slot, get a Bloodthorn later on.
Roger, TP out, takes it away.
Roger Dodger, getting out of the trouble, understanding both stuns are used and that he can get away with it.
We'll see how these carries develop, but yeah, for now it's the Mars just using this arena of cooldown, finding kills, always being active at this time. Does feel like Leshrac maybe doesn't have that teammate to play around quite as much. Has made the move rotating top to try and just play around this Tusk, but it's going to try and take some early towers.
Beastmaster and Helm of the Dominator done. Speaking of taking the towers, but look at Naga Siren. She's not afraid. Beastmaster is level 6, so needs to be a bit more careful if they land Aurora into Arrow. She's definitely dead. Silencer is behind her. No global silence yet, and we're 9 minutes into the game.
Yeah, this feels particularly brave from MKS, but it's one of the strengths of Naga. Under your tower, you're just very tanky and hard to bring down. Now going in the aggressive here with the Tombstone being dropped. They're diving this. They want MKS, but the rotation's coming in from Zhao Yu. He's here on the Tusk to try and save the day. In fact, he's going on the aggressive now. Goes in, rolls in with the Warrior's Punch onto the Beastmaster, who's getting kind of low here, but they've now gone on Zhao Yu with the double Starstorm hit. He gets low onto about 10% health. He's going to survive for now with Roger being the new focus on Silencer.
Here comes Mars.
Yep.
Gotta be silenced though.
Yep, Mars on the trees. One more right click will get MKS, but the Leshrac's also showing up. And now Loon is Undying, going to get burned down by the Pulse Nova. So both teams losing a hero or two as Z-Rain can't stop the TP out coming in. It's a 2-for-1 trade in the end.
Took them a lot of time for the rest of the team to rotate, because Naga Siren did manage to escape inside the trees with the illusions, killing the Tombstone. And yeah,
with the arrow follow-up, that's a lot of damage, and they get a big kill out of it.
Yeah. Leap into body block, my favorite thing to do in Dota.
He's showing off his skills there. The skill lay, and yeah, they're doing all this while Morphling just kind of gets to farm pretty freely elsewhere on the map. Can't quite keep up with the Naga just because of the illusion factor, but really good aggression from the Myanmar team.
Some crisp, beautiful execution while Morphling is farming, as you mentioned. Still not as farmed as Naga Siren. You wouldn't expect him to be. Naga with the illusions doing way too much, but if he gets a solo kill here, one more right click will do it.
He's got to juke him. He does juke him north, and now with, oh no!
The pure damage from Vendetta. He morphed way too low.
Oh, what a... I don't know if you can call that a bait. I mean, MKS, he jukes him, but if Morphling, you know, if he figured out the juke there, he had that solo kill. Oh, that was heartbreaking. It felt like Morphling outplayed him there, and then MKS had the last laugh.
And also Nick's bringing 2 healing cells that he dug up with his shovel, healing up Naga Siren, so she doesn't need to go back.
Yeah, that's so nice. That's gonna feel real bad for the Morphling. All of a sudden, there's a 1,000 gold difference between him and the Naga Siren, which was previously only like half of that. So
it's Dota 2. If he got that kill, if he morphed a little earlier, maybe he would not need an extra right click, and then he would be the one on top of the network.
Yep. A small game of tiny little margins, and we'll see where the next moves come from the Yangon side. It's been mostly the Mars who's been the big fight starter for them.
Has a lot of mana pool in this Mars. Decided to go for Falcon Blade. Was thinking about the Soul Ring, but I've seen Mars tending to go for Falcon Blade instead. Does give you that damage. With the bottle, you do have enough mana regen, and also picking up a neutral item, Thumper Stoy. So good way to set things up. Sometimes it's all you need, that tiny little jump, and here we go.
Right on cue. Z-Rain follows up what Lacoste was dishing out. There's a bit of retaliation coming in, but there's a raw counterplay. Murano with no leaps to get out of this one is going to get chain stunned and brought down, but the stuns from the Yangon side getting Zhao Yu low. He's still hanging on just barely on the tusk, but with the slows from the Tombstone zombies, it's too much. This Tombstone being a terrible place to take a fight as ChubbyBoiz just get chewed up one by the Undying.
And something we didn't mention, if there's no Naga Siren, they can't kill the Tombstone. These heroes are really bad at it. You're not going to see Tusk, Nyx, and Silence are hitting the Tombstone. Like even Leshrac, he wants to be able to chase people down and get stuff done while he's pumping out that ulti damage. So very difficult. Like this Tombstone was right in front of them and no one wanted to hit it.
Nope. Just making life so hard for them, and there's Yangon who's now starting to pull ahead a bit despite this Naga being well on top of the net worth charts. They've kept Tusk down and also managed to get a good deal of farm on their support Murano. So
once Morphin gets to his item timing, when there's this Manta style, he's not gonna be needed, like he's not gonna be afraid of global silence, and we'll be able to like join these fights. I like Morphlings that do join early fights and collect some of the XP, getting some gold from it.
Yeah, we've already seen at least a little bit here with some of the fights Morphlings showing up to, and feels like it may continue to be the case. For now, they've got to deal with what's starting to become a bit more and more pesky as the Naga Siren kind of, not even split push necessarily, but just the pressure on all your lanes and towers. Like this Naga hero is just always hiding, but the illusion's keeping all the lanes shoved out. And somebody has to kind of keep going back to defend, and often that's the Mars, who simultaneously wants to be the one making plays, but then also has to be the one defending lanes.
I'm looking at Tusk items. I did mention that this hero from the offlane plays for himself, going for Falcon Blade and the Blink Dagger. Yeah, Blink Dagger is nice to be able to save people, but still a long way until he's going to be able to get it. In terms of scaling, when you look at the Beastmaster and Tusk from the offlane, Tusk is cool once he gets the Aghanim set. They're one of the most satisfying things in Dota, but Beastmaster does boring things from early on, but very effectively.
Nice job by Z-Rain, getting away from a bit of a trap there. Nyx did have, at least before, some follow-up from the left track.
They're too far away right now.
Yeah. Mars back to safety. He's trying to finish his Blink Dagger elsewhere. Roger getting chased down by the Zoo. The Helm Creep will finish off the job. Nicely done. Yangon to find that kill. Just finding these pickups around their vision. And they're not done yet. They want to take this tier 1 mid tower, but Leshrac doing a good job pulling the wave of the tower. Has got a completed Bloodstone here, but without a creep wave, they say they'll do it the old-fashioned way. Just send these units at the tier 1. Spear away onto the Leshrac. They're not looking to hard follow this one up. The snowball on in, just to take out the Helm Creep here. They've got the Tombstone down, so they want to force this fight. They get the Roar here, and there's no more snowball save. The arena catches everybody. There's no follow-up damage. They're just going to turn and fight. Mars goes down, the Tombstone's still
Morph.
standing, gets healed up, the Morphling showing up. This is the fight for him to clean
Good
up.
two-man
Young
stun.
PH gets up 4 dead, triple kill for the Morphling. The sleep comes, but it's all too late. Oh boy, fighting under that Tombstone. It was like one hit from dead and then it got soul ripped up, and Morphling also showed up for the absolute cleanup of the life.
That was beautifully done. From Morphling into the fight, like you mentioned it, there was no real follow-up once Mars used the arena, but the rest of the team, I like that Beastmaster immediately pops the roar because he saw them using Snowball on the arrow target, and they understood, like, we're just gonna use that. The rest of the team is gonna be able to come in and clean up. Big fight for Yangon Galacticos.
Yeah. It sounded like, looking back, like, okay, this arena caught 3, but no one's dying, but over time, they were trapped in this Tombstone arena, and zombies just built up and kind of forced them to stand their ground and fight against a Morphling who they used everything to kill Mars, and suddenly Morphling's like, okay, this fight's free for me. They want just the Helm creep, it looks like. A nice chunk of gold if they can finish this one off. They'll maybe get it, but at what cost here? Leshrak's been stunned up, speed into a tree, and with Morphling followed up, Young PH has got another kill. Leshrak can't afford to be going down like that. Not worth the 250 gold from the Helm.
There's some good targets that he can morph into. There's nothing like, oh, I'm gonna morph into Undying on the enemy team, steal the Tombstone, but if he like gets illusions from Nagasar, and if he gets like we've seen him using Carapace to great extent, also landing a 2-man stun, snowball save, shard block. So some of these spells that he's gonna be stealing, it's gonna have a huge impact. And now with that Aegis, he's gonna have a really free time. He was not afraid to join fights, something that we did mention, and now things are gonna get even easier for this Morphling, because he will be morphing immediately. Oh!
The Naga illusions off!
He still had a curse on.
Oh, he's not done!
What the hell's going on?
They're just dying to illusions! And they're getting picked off one, they just got a free Roshan, and then they kind of chain feed.
What was that?
Naga's doing Naga things, I guess, but that... And they're gonna lose this T1 mid.
She got so much gold. She got triple kill and the tower, and is gonna TP to get even more farm. So that Scotty timing is gonna be pretty big, which is important. You're playing against like 3 melee heroes and also Morphling, reducing his shift healing, whatever you want to call it.
Could be in trouble. He's sending off. Oh, but they smoked up. They know that he sent off the fake one, and the real one's down here. Blink Warrior's punch. He's got the Aegis, but they may just try and kill him twice here. Waveform in. Morphling morphs into the Tusk here, and Zhao Yu's just going to go for the TP on out. Young PH will finish off the job here. It looked like they were trying to hunt the Morphling, but the rest of Tusk's teammates had other ideas and went off somewhere else.
17:45, Roche timer in all chat. Not sure if that's intended.
Yeah, especially when it happened so long ago, but I guess he was trying to retype it maybe. Not sure. Or some mind games. You post some wrong timers in the old chat.
Lie about, what, 15, 20 seconds?
Yeah. And then you, Morphling, you know, and then you go for that kill where you think, oh, I've still got 10 seconds on Aegis.
Yeah, and the rest of your team is not listening, so you have a position for sitting inside the Roche pit unnecessary for 40 seconds.
Well, with the Aegis there, pushing forward down bottom. Leshrak, so be careful. He's been hit by an arrow and a spear. He just gets the lead and trying to defend this tower. The backup comes, but it's all too late. Jalbonbon's been dusted up. Now will look to go for the kill before he goes down, but he may even be able to survive his way through this one. Nope, no chance. Gets picked off, does get a kill on his way out, so not the worst for him, but losing the Leshrak again. This Lesh has just been food.
Yeah, needs a BKB. He definitely needs to be able to run from the arena, but then again, Morphling plus a Beastmaster could roar and right-click you down. So, at every stage of the game, it's still going to be a problem for Leshrak.
Yeah. And it feels like
he needs a snowball. Like, he definitely needs a snowball save once they initiate it with the roar.
Yeah. But now he's already behind. He's just going to be kind of consistently underfarmed, it feels like. So he's never going to be at that point where he feels tanky, given that he just doesn't have the farm to really get there. And It's going to be much more dependence on Naga Siren here, headed towards, kind of towards the mid-game, late-game stages, but Naga already 15k net worth is absolutely huge.
2,000 gold away from that, Scotty. Good carapace, but
yeah. Into a Nyx, and there gets an Impale off it. Snowball save is there. Young PH getting a little bit low, still has the Aegis to play around, and with the sleep they've set up on 3. What's the follow-up going to be? Xiao Bonbon trying to line up an Impale, only catches 1 in the end, but it's enough to get a kill on the Mars. Another stun coming in from Young PH, but with the global
back
silence.
from Mars.
Yep, they want to force this fight. Can they make it go? But the Naga illusion's just absolutely eating everybody alive. Nice snowball, I think, helped dodge the arrow for X alone to keep him alive. And Young PH out of mana, can't really chase here. Doesn't have the mana for a waveform, but here's the Mars buying back, getting the spear onto the Leshrac, and once again, they managed to bring him down. Does come at a pretty heavy price with the Mars buyback, but
yeah, they only managed to get 1 kill from that buyback, but the rest of the team is cleaning up, being able to finish off a tier 2 tower on mid, which does, like, they're already controlling the outpost, never mind, and still, Aegis up and running for 40 seconds. Morphling gonna pump up some damage on tier 3 towers.
Yep, there's the creep wave now. Snowball in just to try and clear that with the blink out, but I think he's going to be forced back. You don't want to caught on this high ground as the Aegis is expiring. Just wants to probably get back to safety, use that Aegis regen, and wait for a better fight.
Also, morphing into Nyx Assassin and then burning mana on a hero like Leshrac, it really does hurt him a lot.
Smoke up with the Aegis expiring, and RSG showing they want to try and take a fight that may catch Yangon by surprise. Naga not with them, but is pressuring the map and playing very deep on this dire side, so in a pretty good position to join up with this smoke. What are they going to find here as they invade the enemy jungle? They get some good vision down. They're going hunting here. Morphling not too far away, but it doesn't look like they'll catch him. Instead, it's going to be the Undying. And Morphling just instantly waves back to safety. So just the Undying, but a good move to get some vision down and get control of the enemy jungle.
Past 10 minutes, really close, back and forth game. Feels like every time you do something right, the next fight you're gonna lose it. Roshan, potentially available in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And thus going for that BKB. Oh man, you mentioned Leshrac, he really is struggling. Looking at his items, no BKB yet, has a casual cloak, arena initiation.
Yeah, it's the Naga, but the snowball save is once again there. They've been so good with Zhao Yu, but then once it ends, the follow-up is going to go onto the Naga Siren, who goes down before she can get the song off. And the chase is on, they want more. Zhao Yu, already having used the snowball, is going to get pierced through by the spear, 3 dead. And a fight where they just didn't have Leshrac with them, and they, you know, for the most part, it's been Leshrac getting jumped. This time around, it's the Naga Siren getting initiated on.
Leshrac is their damage. Like, he needs to be there. He needs to be with the team. But even with the great snowball save, Arena still being there for a long time did allow rest of the team to just get and connect onto one target, kill it, go for the other one. Because, as you said, there was no Leshrac. And onto the tier 3 tower. One more time they go.
May just be a lane of racks here, potentially. Still got a small window before Naga's back. If they want to force this one, there is a cliff with the reset. Does look like that may be enough to deter them from going high ground with Naga's respawn, and Yangon may just wait for another good initiation, especially waiting for the Mars Arena, which has been such a key part of their team fight.
Mars cannot die. If they kill Mars, he's going to be dead for almost 2 minutes. And Morphling, okay, Morphling finishing off his Scotty. I see Aghanim Scepter queued up next. It's such a good upgrade. Like, this hero is so hard to balance. Either he's really not playable, or he's like, oh, yeah, this is very OP.
This is not quite the old days of like Morphling Shaker, but still a hero in this current patch that...
I can't believe that was in the game for so long.
So ridiculous. Jumping
and then
around,
with the introduction of the shard and everything, it's like,
yep.
Why? Please.
It's Dota, everything's going to be imba, but in that case...
That was really imba. I've seen, you know, 95, 100% almost win rate Dota plus comebacks with the Earthshaker plus Morphling. it gets ridiculous.
Radiant's
Next
top
Roche,
tower is under
gonna be up
attack.
in a minute.
Dire's bottom
For
tower
the most part, it is
under
Yangon
attack.
with that Beastmaster giving them a lot of this vision advantage, but
Radiant's top
on
tower
the
has
ChubbyBoiz
fallen.
side, they're looking around at this Naga Siren. They've got her on the enemy side of the map, which is really where you want to be playing as a Naga, cutting those waves, keeping both mid as well as at least one of the side lanes pushed out. Ideally, even all three, but
Radiant's top
constant
tower
pressure
is
down
under
bottom is
attack.
going to, you know, make life kind of annoying for Yangon.
Morphling deeping back. Radiant will kill the tower. Naga Siren with the illusions. You said those lanes, they need to be pushed out. And mid lane pushed out.
Dire's middle tower
Bottom
is
lane
under attack.
almost near the tier 3 tower.
And, I mean, one Morphling TP back and suddenly there's a window to maybe take a fight. Like, they're trying to force this here. The Morphling's a little bit far away. With that said, maybe Yangon are going to initiate in. They jump in on the left track. The Global Sound's coming in with the Snowball save as well. Morphling trying to get back to this fight here as they look to turn and bring down the Mirana to start things off here. This is on for the Undying here. That'd be a nice little follow-up kill with the root. It looks like they should have him from the ensnare. That's 2 dead. All of this starting from that split push down bottom. It forced the Morphling bottom, and suddenly they get themselves a fight. That's 5 versus 4. Morphling's now showing up, and it does look like they have to disengage.
Morphling still very unkillable. Some of these spells, the defensive ones, are being overlapped by ChubbyBoiz, both Snowball, like a BKB, and the Global Silence.
Have they got the damage with it? That's a bit ambitious. Getting close. Morphling does get the waveform one out of there, just barely. He's going to snowball back in, though. Hell yeah.
Oh, here we go. All right, the bug. Back it up, boys. I want this game to last another 45, up to an hour.
Does he, even if he dies, does he stay like this?
Yeah, he does.
Oh,
Like sometimes
yeah.
it disappears for a second, but he's gonna be like that.
What
He's
causes
having
it? Is it 'cause
it's
he-
Lotus Orb.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Well, spy back from the Beastmaster.
There
They
he
would have
goes.
forced this spy.
Thing is, if you're playing Tusk, it gets very difficult to play it this way.
Yeah. Oh my God, 3 hero stun from ChubbyBoiz with a split earth on 2 to follow it up. What a combo from RSG. Excellent, looking to pulse Nova down. The Undying will finish him off. The BKB on Mars will get back to safety, but in the pit it's MKS on the Naga. With the Song securing the Aegis, they've taken out 2. They want more with the Orchid on Mirana. They'll get more. 3 dead. What a fight for RSG. All set up by the chain stun and the multi-hero
Snowball is
impale.
still there. Where's Tusk though? He's dead, but he left the Snowball.
Okay.
All right.
Willie.
Let's see if he's gonna pick it up. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful fight. Some nice team fight execution by ChubbyBoiz, not overlapping anything this time around. They didn't even use the global in the previous fight, and also being able to stun this Morphling, not allowing him to use the shift. This Naga Siren right now does quite a lot of damage. Bloodthorn, an item that we mentioned. Being able, like, you just burst people down. If there's no Manta style, if there's no Dispel mechanic, if Mirana is dead, no Lotus Orb, people just straight up die to it.
A lot of burst damage coming out now, and a Butterfly not far off as well. Things could go from bad to worse here very quickly for Yangon, who's been the ones kind of controlling most of this game. Bringing the Morphling to these early fights and getting some great arenas off, but all of a sudden things have... Oh, there we go. He says sorry. Maybe we'll have another look at the Tusk in a sec to see if he fixed it, but...
Hopefully not. I hope he stays Snowball. Ymir.
They're really giving them the Naga Siren treatment now. Illusion's just sitting right outside the Dire base, catching all these creep waves and keeping the pressure on ChubbyBoiz. He's got the Impale set, the Snowball.
Double Snowball.
Oh.
One from the side, and he
Yeah.
picks it up. Triple Snowball.
Okay.
It's not fixable. You've seen him coming from the south, and also one Snowball from the west.
This is so hard to cast.
Naga
like,
Siren
whose Snowball
illusion.
is
Snowball.
what?
Oh, he's
Is he-
getting ready. Is he snowballing or is he not?
Yeah, you just never know when he's using his spells. That's actually insane how, like, much that almost, it makes playing so hard. They've caught Naga. That should be her Aegis for free here. And can they follow this up? They've got an arena here. Do they want to drop it down? They're still trying to force this fight. MKS is just going to go for the song.
Kill the tombstone.
Yep, kill the tomb and back off, it looks like. They don't want to force a fight. They're TPing top with the last track. Arrow catches him! Excellent! Oh, he was trying to TP up top. They're not going to follow it up, though.
The snowball's getting bigger.
I mean, that's how it works, right? You snowball down. It doesn't. Why would it get smaller? You're
There's no snow. We're not on a snow map. It should be getting smaller.
Global warming is a lie. Look, here's your proof right in front of you.
Yeah, last time we worked together, we did discuss the global silence on the panel.
Yep. Well, here we go. Yangon Galacticos looking to make their move. Oh, okay, there we go. That's it. They got the sentry down the Nyx and the roar. Global silence, the fight taking place to the south somewhere. The giant snowball just rolling its way around the fight, and Z-Rain on the Mars getting very low. Once the MKS Naga, but it hasn't got the damage for it.
He popped the BKB, and you couldn't even see it in the snowball.
Yep. Morphling just getting zoned out of this one. He's going to wave in into a 1 versus 5, it feels like. Has got the Mirana to back him up with all the buybacks coming in. Young P8 is just melting to the Pulse Nova damage. Too much from Excellent. His last track finally coming online. Has the Mirana for, I believe, a dieback here. And now 3 are dead. None of them have buybacks. Z-Rain bought back himself. He cannot afford to die here. Caught by a Carapace stunner. They've now lost 4, perhaps 5. That's going to blink in a couple of seconds.
Ooh, that was close.
But they can just go right down mid.
They don't care about Mars.
Yeah.
He does not have a TP for 40 seconds. And yeah, as you mentioned, they can run down the mid lane with Leshrac. They have more than enough damage. Not going to be too afraid of this Undying, who's going to respawn in 5 seconds.
Yep.
Edict, no Naga. That was the one big kill that went Yangon's way, but having a Leshrac alive means they should be able to at least get a tier 3 tower, maybe even a lane of racks here, depending on how carefully they want to play this one. Got Morphling in 15, so time is ticking. There's a bit of pressure on the Tombstone. Was just dropped to try and defend this one.
Here comes Snowball.
It's just impossible to know. Oh, let's get that teamfight recap out of there. There we go. As the push is on, they've got to back off though. Morphling's respawning. The arena catches none. Z-Rain tried to punish them for sticking around too long. Will end up catching a silencer as they nicely dodge the Impale, and Young P8 stealing the Nyx. Morphing into him, and one Xiao Bonbon who...
He's dusted. Ooh, he's going to be able to blink out.
Chase is still on here. PH looking for some kind of catch here. Has the Carapace, gets him with the Carapace, sets up the arrow as well. And they'll finish off the Nyx. Nicely done there by the Morphling.
Man, this game is the closest one we had so far today. At least the one that we're showing on stream. Not being able to like close out the game, even though they're 10k ahead. They're still losing heroes here and there. And they didn't manage to kill Barracks in the mid lane. They just got the tower.
Yeah, it's still no Rax Flame. I feel like all eyes going to be on that next Roshan. That was what gave ChubbyBoiz such a big lead and gave them this strong position that they're now finding themselves in. But next Roshan goes the other way. All of a sudden, things could flip on their heads.
Undying jungling, my favorite thing to watch. At least it's now good. Your DK does double damage to creeps. Before it was almost impossible. Morphling does have, speaking of double damage, he does have one in bottle.
That's an item that could swing a fight in their favor. Find a good jump here. No BKB though, so still a lot of disables and annoying things to kind of worry about in these fights. The Manta style alone just doesn't feel like it really cuts it right now. If they can get a BKB on Morphling before the next fight, they'd be absolutely thrilled. Here come RSG smoking on up, rolling their way towards this dire triangle, and MKS leading the way. Gonna get the jump with the blink punch here. The arena counterplay, spears through, doesn't catch anybody. I believe that's the BKB preventing that one, and they're just going to look to abandon ship here. They'll leave the Undying behind. The Tombstone will drop, and possibly they'll lose multiple heroes here. They've caught the Beastmaster far back with the Lotus Orb. He's trying to keep himself alive, but it's just not enough.
So funny to watch. That was actually Beastmaster using the Lotus Orb on himself, so you can't even see the snowball, like the counter snowball, which actually went on Tusk himself.
I don't know.
It's just getting more ridiculous at this point.
The only spell I can tell Tusk uses is Ice Shards. Everything else is just a blur.
Next Roche, let's see the respawn timer. That's the third one, if I'm counting correctly. It's gonna be more than 2 minutes.
It's still getting bigger, it feels like.
It does change size, yeah. Like,
it's when it's on the side of the screen, it looks bigger, I think. Next Roshan, right now with the way these lanes are being pushed out, does seem to favor RSG.
I like this on Xiao Bonbon, picking up Eon Disc after a Blink Dagger, which means that he's going to be able to get... Oh, there's a gem inside a pit, thank you. That he's going to be able to get the Carapace off no matter what.
Yeah. He's often been that first target that Morphling wants to take out. Maybe they'll care less about the Nyx once Morphling has this BKB, but there's a big problem, it feels like. Dire side going to start lacking maybe some damage in these fights with how tanky both Naga and Leshrac are getting. This Leshrac was struggling earlier on, but all of a sudden it's second position in terms of net worth, and having all the items that Leshrac could really hope for a late game Dota position.
All right, that was a quick fix.
But team's ready to get things back underway with Roshan respawning in 1 minute. How important is it that Yangon contest this one? Or
it's a third Roche, you don't know what it is. If you get Aghanim Scepter on Tusk, like even Naga Siren, I feel like you give it to Tusk because Naga Siren can farm one for herself. Kicking Morphling during the BKB timing, even Mars, like it just changes things. And also him being in a snowball, so you don't even see what's happening when he blinks on top of you. That's gonna be pretty difficult. In terms of refresher, you can give one to, I don't mind the Leshrac, just to be able to, you know, refresh his BKB.
Yep.
They're not that good of a refresher game on their side. Silencer is okay, but they do have like Lotus Orbs already. They do have Manta Styles BKB, so not that big of a value from refresher anyway.
Well, they'll be hoping for that Aghanim Scepter then. Keeping these lanes pushed out, not long to wait, as there we go. Roche has respawned, and they see this entire Dire team defending their high ground, but they've now smoked up. They're charging forward. And this may not be the free Roche that they're hoping for. Nyx in a decent position to maybe pop this one. Xiao Bonbon scouts it out, gets the Carapace off, also has that Aeon Disc to play around. Roche is already dead though. They've just killed it too fast, and Yangon will be forced back. Did you see if it was the refresher or the Ags?
I didn't see.
Okay. There we go. Now they get to play.
Xiao Yu high-fiving inside the snowball. He's having too much fun.
So Naga does have an Ag Scepter, it looks like. I don't think she bought that.
No, yeah. Looking at the net worth, that's inflated net worth right there.
That's it. The Roche answer is they go get to work on the high ground here. Team's just posturing. Hear the excitement in their voices just across the room from us. There's so much crap on the ground with this split earth. The snowball on snowball, they've got the Morphling in the middle of them. Young PH barely gets out of there with a BKB. Instead, it's going to be the Mirana going down, and Young PH is going to go back to base to heal, which may just give RSG enough time to finish off the base here. Pulling in the Undying. Oh, man. There's a kick from the Tusk. He's already got the Ag Scepter.
That's why they didn't give it to him. And yeah, suddenly this game feels very over. Bull
back in once again. There's just no escaping. They pull you in, they lock you down with the ensnares. They also kick you in, and one by one they're getting picked apart here. The Tusk Aghanim Scepter just setting up these fights. First the Morphling, who they don't quite kill, but the follow-up kills are there. Another kickback coming on. This time they'll finish the job.
Without Morphling, they don't have what it takes. He already bought back 7 minutes dead, and they're gonna call it.
A very competitive game. I mean, in the end, it's kind of the one-sided finish that you sometimes get, but this was a game where Yangon, they were kind of in control for the first 20 minutes.
They were, until Leshrac decided to actually survive, you know, in a couple of these fights, because he was sitting in the middle of the pack. He was getting heavily focused, but yeah, he did manage to not get caught inside of the arena a couple of times. They also did take care of him with the snowball saves, and in the end, they did prevail. But yeah, Naga Siren, she's a menace. Like this hero, like during TI, I think also we're gonna see this hero more picked during this tournament, because it feels she doesn't get countered in the lane. Like you can almost first phase this hero, because it's also a flexible hero. Some teams did play it as position 3, some teams did run it as position 4. So there's some flexibility if they counter it too hard, but most of the time it feels like that this hero just hits her timings much faster than other heroes.
Yeah, like the hero has a strong enough laning stage, which is like maybe in theory her weakness, but come mid-game, the fact that you can just keep everything pushed out and get vision for your team with 0 risk. It's all illusions doing it. It's just such a strength of hers. Definitely some sloppiness maybe when the Naga got that like triple kill. Right after Yangon got Roshan, suddenly there was like a Naga triple kill. Alrighty, there you have it. It is Team ChubbyBoiz here up on the main stage. Congratulations, guys. Great win to get things started. I'll start with you, Jumbo. How are you finding your time in Japan so far? You enjoying the trip?
It's really good. Enjoying Japan. Beautiful city.
Yep, you guys are one of the maybe more experienced teams here as far as this tournament goes. How did you kind of prepare coming into this one here?
Yes, screaming but training and prepare everything can happen.
Okay. I'll ask you going down the line. Do you feel like you still have that motivation? Obviously, TI just happened. Are you hungry? Are you getting ready for the new Dota season?
Yeah, just can't wait for it. It's like in January, right? So preparing for it also.
And are you guys planning to play together for the Dota season, you think?
We'll see. Not sure yet. Nothing is fixed yet.
Sorry to put you on the spot. We'll save those questions for later. As far as these games go, it started off a bit shaky maybe. At least it looked like from our perspective that they had a lot of control over the game. Were you worried at all, or you felt like things were going fine?
No, to me, I know our heroes are taking secure better. So there's no worry at all for me.
Okay. One of the big heroes this game, I think maybe that gave you that better late game was the Naga Siren.
Correct.
Is that something you think we'll be seeing a bit more of? Naga Siren looked pretty good.
Yeah, I think most teams will be Naga in here for sure.
Okay. Yeah. And then I guess one of the last questions, as far as this tournament goes, what are your expectations? You're hoping to win the whole thing. Obviously, you'd like to, but do you think you're playing at a level where you can win the whole thing?
To be honest, we came here just to have fun, like just holiday, but we just played. No expectation at all.
Japan's a nice place to take a holiday.
Yeah.
I guess, and like final question, who are you most looking forward to playing against? Anybody's you're interested to answer that?
The last week. Who went against? For me, SMG maybe.
Yeah. I think we'd enjoy that one. Your old team. Yeah. Well, thank you for the interview, guys. Congratulations once again. Our next match is coming up shortly. It's going to be Execration versus TNC Predator. That match happens at 18:05 Japanese time, 6:05 p.m. We'll see you there, and congratulations, guys.
Thank you.